Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, it looks like Josh Dobbs will remain the starter for a Week 18 win-and-end matchup against Jacksonville. I'll tell you why it's the right move if you're Mike Vrabel, but might not be the best move if you're a Titans fan. Then we got some interesting reports on not only Malik Willis's future with the Titans, but Ryan Tannehill's future with the Titans. We're going to go over those reports. And if both those guys are out in 2023, who are some outside QB options for the Titans? All of that and more on today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Titans fans, there is so much going on in Titan land right now. But the biggest story is Mike Vrabel announced on Monday that it will be Josh Dobbs as the starter in Week 18 for the Titans. We're going to discuss all of that and more. Before we do, want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code Locked On. Also, thank you guys for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content for free all year round on all platforms, including here on the Locked On Titans YouTube channel. Subscribe, smash the notification bell, and throw a thumbs up on the video if you're watching right now. I definitely do appreciate the support for the channel. But diving in here, that's the big news. Mike Vrabel comes out in his press conference, and he wastes no time whatsoever and says Josh Dobbs will be the starting quarterback for the Titans in Week 18. Now, the number one thing that I want to say here is I told you guys that they weren't sitting Malik because he's the starter in Week 18 and they were trying to get him healthy. That was always absurd. I pointed to multiple reports yesterday to show that that was always absurd thinking. Josh Dobbs is the starter because he is a far better quarterback than Malik Willis. Period. That's the end of that. He is a far better quarterback than Malik Willis, which, as I mentioned at the top of the show, from Mike Vrabel's standpoint, that's the right call. Mike Vrabel wants to win. Mike Vrabel wants to beat Jacksonville. Mike Vrabel wants to go into the playoffs. And Mike Vrabel talked about all of the reasons that he went with Dobbs over Malik Willis. He talked about operational stuff, getting into the correct play. When you come up to the line of scrimmage, you have audibles, you have cans available to you. It takes an intelligent quarterback who can read a defense to get the Titans into the correct play that they need to run based on the look that the defense is giving. It is obvious from Mike Vrabel's statement that Malik does not do that as well as Josh Dobbs, who, of course, joined the organization 10 days ago, and Malik's been with the organization for 8 months now. And a guy who showed up 8 days ago is better operationally with the offense and the audibles and the calls. Not a good sign. He talked about progressions and going through his reads in a timely manner, getting the ball out. All the things that we've been talking about Malik that he just struggles with. He's just not doing at a high level. So I get it. From Mike Vrabel's standpoint, that's what he wants to do. But in my opinion, if you're a Titans fan, do you really want a division title and a playoff appearance led by Josh Dobbs? And everyone outside of Tennessee Vols fans can answer that question, because we know the Vols fans are just losing their mind right now about what Dobbs is, who he could be. The guy's been in the NFL like 7 years. He's barely hanging on to rosters. He's not a starting quarterback. So I'm glad you guys are all happy to see your college quarterback out there for the Titans. I get that. But come on, guys. Come on. We know that. So for me, if you're a Titans fan, who has more long-term potential to be a real NFL starting quarterback? To me, it's obviously Malik. Now, I have doubts that he'll get there. I don't think that Malik will end up as a starting quarterback in the NFL from what we've seen so far. But from a Titans perspective, who actually has that potential that's untapped? It's clearly Malik Willis, not Josh Dobbs, who's been in the league for 6 years. So for me, if you're Mike Vrabel, I get it. He wants to squeeze as much juice as he possibly can out of this team. But if you're a Titans fan, how can you want to watch Josh Dobbs in a playoff game? What are we even doing? And here's the thing. All of you guys, and I see it right here, dog versus face. I'm sorry, dog versus face. I don't mean to call you out. I want to quiet the Jags fans. They're getting too loud down there in the swamp. That is fake pride. Pride will get you killed. A lot of you guys, I just want to keep the Jags in their place. Do you care more about the Jags or do you care about the Titans? I want the Titans to win a Super Bowl. I don't give a crap. Okay, the Jags are going to win the division if the Titans don't get better. The Titans need to improve their roster and get better. They're not going to be able to do that adequately with a 20th pick because fake pride got them a division title in the worst division in the NFL. You guys want to run around the street and shout out, we won the AFC South. Woo, Jacksonville, you're no good. Who cares? That's fake pride. That's fake sentiment. I want to win a championship. I want to see the Titans get better. And you guys all told me this roster sucks. The coach said this roster sucks. The owner of the Titans told you when she fired the GM that this roster sucks. So, what's the best way to make this roster better? A top 10 pick. Not picking in the mid-20s or early 20s again, where there aren't really any first-round values. The Titans need a blue chip left tackle. The Titans need the ability to trade up to get a top quarterback. The Titans need the best wide receiver on the board. One of those options, whatever you want. If you want them to trade up for a quarterback, if you want them to get the left tackle of the future, if you want a wide receiver, no matter what you want, you listening, no matter what you want, that is much more accomplishable with a top 10 pick than a fake division title in the worst division in the NFL. Mike Vrabel is trying to win, but Titans fans should want Malik Willis out there to A, see if he can improve it all, or B, lose and get a top 10 draft pick. I will continue to go back to the Jets. Look at the Jets. What do the Jets need right now? What do the New York Jets need? A quarterback. Their roster is awesome. They have a great defense. They have solid weapons. They have a pretty good offensive line when healthy. But the Jets won their last game of the year in 2020. And instead of getting the first pick in the draft and taking Trevor Lawrence, they got the second pick in the draft and had to take Zach Wilson. Learn from mistakes. Do not celebrate needless wins because you want to just stick it to Jacksonville. That's pride, man. Cut your own grass. Keep your own grass cut. Don't worry about Jacksonville's grass. They got Trevor Lawrence now. They got a good roster. You're not going to be able, would you rather play Josh Dobbs and maybe magically beat Jacksonville this year just to rub it in their nose and then lose the next 5 division titles? Like, think about it, guys. Have some long-term thinking here and quit thinking about your Twitter arguments. The Jets picked Wilson in the top 10, correct, but they won for no reason and missed out on the number 1 pick, which would have got them Lawrence. That is an example of how draft positioning and needless wins can hurt you. This roster needs help. okay? They need a top 10 pick to fix this roster, all right? So Mike Vrabel is going to try to win. But if you really care about winning a Super Bowl as a Titans fan, then you want the left tackle of the future, a trade up for C.J. Stroud or whatever quarterback you like, or another top wide receiver. That is what this team needs, not a fake division win against Jacksonville to get blown out in round one with Josh Dobbs. Give me a break. Pride will get you killed. Pride will get you killed. But with that said, I've already gone 8 minutes too long because it just fires me up to see people root against the Titans winning a Super Bowl because they just want to stick it to Jacksonville because of fake pride in the worst division in the NFL. It's nonsense. And with that in mind, though, we got some major reports on Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis's future with the Titans. I'm going to go over those, give you my thoughts on what I've seen. Before I get into it, though, do want to let you guys know that today's episode of Locked On Titans is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy the way it is supposed to be. It's not you against 800 other entries from 1,000 different people copying and repasting and doing all that. All you do is go to PrizePicks. They have a projection for every player. Derrick Henry, 100 rushing yards. Malik Willis, 50 passing yards. Justin Jefferson, 8 catches, stuff like that. And all you do is you pick 2 to 5 players and you say whether the player is going to do more or less than their projection. If you hit, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. So go to prizepicks.com or just download the PrizePicks app to your phone. Sign up and use the promo code Locked On. That's one word, Locked On. You're going to get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 if you're a first-time user. Deposit $100, get $100. Deposit $50, get $50. Again, all you got to do, go to prizepicks.com or download the PrizePicks app. Enter that promo code Locked On, and you will get that 100% instant deposit match. Titans fans, we are going to continue today's show. I just want to let you guys know that injuries to the Titans, not just limited to the team. Content creators. Obviously, I was questionable for today's show with a voice injury, but I'm here and I'm ready. And by God, I am fired up about this football team. We just talked about Josh Dobbs starting. Why I get why Mike Vrabel's doing it, but if you're a Titans fan, that probably isn't what you want. Mike Vrabel is only worried about winning right now, keeping his job. Titans fans should be worried about the future, trying to win a Super Bowl, okay? Because that's not happening this year. So with that in mind, though, we got some pretty interesting reports over the weekend, is all I will say about not only Malik Willis, but Ryan Tannehill. What's funny is I recorded my show yesterday, and I said, it's my opinion, Mike Vrabel has given up on Malik Willis. He's given up on him. And we've seen it. And right after I got done recording, Peter King, one of the most respected reporters in NFL history. Quite frankly, Peter King has been one of the most tapped in NFL reporters for decades. Also, shout out for also a Bobcat, my fellow Bobcat. Shout out to you, Peter King. One of the main reasons I went to Ohio University's journalism school is because Peter King was a graduate, and I knew I could make it if I went that way. Didn't go the way I wanted, but either way, here we are. But Peter King said about Malik Willis that he thinks Vrabel is pretty much done with Malik Willis. That's the vibe around the league. Mike Vrabel is done. And some other little pieces of information have come out basically saying that Malik Willis was a John Robinson draft pick that Mike Vrabel maybe wasn't on board with. So if you start to put together the pieces, Mike Vrabel starts a guy in a win-and-in game who's been with the team for 8 days over a guy who's been with the team for 8 months, and his reasoning is operational, audibles, progressions. read between the lines, guys, and then we get reports that Vrabel's out on Willis. I mean, start picking up the breadcrumbs, guys. Just start doing it. So, anyways, I thought that was incredibly interesting. And it's funny that I felt that way on Thursday. And by the end of the weekend, there's national media reports confirming it. Look, you guys come on here and tell me all the time when I'm wrong. Nobody's going to pat themselves on the back, or nobody's going to pat you on the back. So I just like to remind you guys, it may not always be what you want to hear. You may disagree, but just hear me out. That's all I'm saying. Just hear me out when I say stuff that maybe you don't agree with. So I thought that was interesting, but that was not the most interesting thing that Peter King said on Pro Football Talk. He also mentioned that it was his guess. And remember, Peter King, one of the most tapped in NFL reporters in the league, his guess, that is how reporters say things without revealing their sources. His guess is the Titans would like to move on from Tannehill this offseason. Now, I just told you, I feel like I'm right about Mike Vrabel giving up on Malik Willis. But I was wrong. I was wrong about this Ryan Tannehill report. Dead wrong. That's on me. I was wrong about that. I thought in my head, Mike Vrabel was giving up on Malik Willis because he wants to roll with Tannehill in 2023. But according to this, Peter King's guess is the Titans would like to move on from Ryan Tannehill this offseason. That's wild to me. What is the option then? What are we doing, Mike? If you don't want to roll with Willis and tank for Caleb Williams or Drake May or Quinn Ewers or whatever, if you don't want to do that, and you don't want to keep Tannehill, then what is the plan at quarterback? What is the direction for the Titans in 2023? I just don't. It's hard to put together what Mike Vrabel could be doing, because my thought always was, remember I told you guys a couple of episodes ago, we're going to spend a lot of time this all season on what Mike Vrabel was going to do and what I think the Titans should do, because those are going to be two different things. My thought process always was, I think the Titans should roll with Malik Willis, and if he sucks, then you get a top pick and you get the next quarterback. The other thought was Mike Vrabel won't want to do that. He'll want to squeeze as much juice as he possibly can out of this core group and try to win. And he'd stick with Tannehill. If Mike Vrabel doesn't want to do either of those things, then what the heck does Mike Vrabel want to do? That is something to wonder. And as a matter of fact, not only are we going to wonder, we're going to talk about it. Let's go through what the options could be at quarterback in 2023 if the Titans go away from Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis. I'm going to dive into what I think makes sense. Before we get into that, though, do want to tell you guys about BetOnline.net, our sponsor for today's show. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all of your gambling info, your betting info, stats, news, analysis. I'm from Ohio. Sports betting just became legal yesterday. I'm already up 400. So I would advise you, if you're interested in that type of thing, to check out the latest odds and trends on every professional and amateur league out there at betonline.net. Of course, they're going to have the pro football playoffs. They're going to have college football bowl season. They got basketball. They got esports. It's the fastest and easiest way to get all your betting info. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, where the game starts. Titans fans, we are going through today's show, and in my opinion, it is a banger, an absolute banger. There's so much to discuss right now. Guys, I got to tell you, this is going to be one of the most toxic off seasons in Titans fandom history. No one is going to agree on what to do. No one is going to see eye to eye. I mean, it's already happening on Twitter, in the comments. People are angry. They want to see the team do what they want. And I don't know if everybody's going to get what they want. I don't even know what could possibly happen, but that's why we're going to go over the options. If the Titans get rid of Tannehill and Malik, what are they going to do? Before we dive into that, do want to thank you guys again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day. Remember, guys, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round for free on the Locked On Titans podcast, Locked On Titans YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Here with you Monday through Friday all year long. But for your second listen, check out Locked On NFL. I actually host the Thursday show of Locked On NFL. You get all your Titans news here with me. Get all your national news with the Locked On NFL podcast as well. So if the Titans go away from Tannehill and Malik, number one, we got to talk about it. The GOAT, Tom Brady. It is no secret that Mike Vrabel and Tom Brady are very close. They are very close. Also, I think, and this has been debated, there's some evidence otherwise, this and that, but you go back to the Tom Brady comment. They want that MFer over me. Some say that was about Derek Carr. I think it was about Tannehill. I think Mike Vrabel wanted to let Tannehill go in free agency and bring in Tom Brady. And I also think that John Robinson said, I don't want to get an old quarterback. I want to roll with Tannehill. I traded a 4th-round pick for him. He's made this team better than ever. I want Tannehill. I think Mike Vrabel wanted Tom Brady. So, although Tom Brady's older now, I think it's very possible that Mike Vrabel says, I want Tom Brady. We'll cut Tannehill and we'll roll with Brady. Because here's the reality of what we need to talk about. And I'm going to discuss this when we bring up another veteran quarterback that I'm not high on. Look, I would do Brady for 1 year. If the Titans cut a bunch of players like Bud Dupree, Taylor Lewan, Zach Cunningham, and Robert Woods, cut those 4 veteran players, you're going to get around $40 million of cap space. Well, Carlos, I agree. Brady ain't coming here with Todd Downing. I agree with that, but I mean, we got to think that Todd Downing's going to get fired, right? I mean, please God. So here's my thing. With Brady, he could probably take a little bit less. So they cut Tannehill. It's $18 million in dead cap. Tannehill's $18 million in just dead cap space. But if Brady comes for 10, 15 million, whatever, then, you know, maybe the Titans can make that work and make it a $5 million cap hit. So you're only paying about 20 million, 22, 23 million for a quarterback spot. That's acceptable. I would at least accept that. Again, not what I would do. The Titans need to go get their Joe Burrow. The Titans need to go get their Trevor Lawrence. The Titans need an elite quarterback. Please, God, we have done this. Oh, we're going to have a good run defense. We're going to have a good defense, a good run game, and an average quarterback. We're going to see how far that'll take us. We've been doing it for 20 years. 20 years. Let's try the other side where you throw the ball every time, your defense is okay, and you got an elite quarterback. Can we try that just once? Just once. I want to try it. Last time we had a quarterback who was worthy of winning an MVP, they did go to the Super Bowl. So let's try that. Anyways, I could see the Brady thing working out if Brady took a small amount of money. Okay? And with Tom Brady's situation, why not? But I got to tell you, I don't think that the best fit for Tom Brady is Tennessee. I think it's Las Vegas. So they have a better roster. They have a coach that he's played for before. And if you were single, rich, and competitive, I'd rather live in Vegas than Nashville, personally. So anyways, Brady is an option, but I don't really like it and I don't really see it. Next, Derek Carr. Guys, I think Ryan Tannehill is better than Derek Carr, personally. But I'm not going to get mad at you if you think Derek Carr is better. Sure. What's most important is it's not a big improvement. Why? Here's what's going to happen. If you cut Ryan Tannehill, you got $18 million in dead cap off Tannehill. And then you think Derek Carr is going to take less than $20 million? No. Derek Carr is going to want $25, $30 million. So why would you pay Tannehill $18 million in dead cap to cut him, pay Derek Carr another $20 million to come here and not have a big improvement at quarterback? They're in the same tier. They're the same guy. Derek Carr is Ryan Tannehill with eyeliner. He's the emo version of Andy Dalton. So if you think Derek Carr is better, if you think Ryan Tannehill is better, it doesn't matter because they're the same. So a little, oh, this guy's a touch better. This guy's a touch better. It's a nonsense argument. I would take Tannehill. You could take Derek Carr. But either way, if I'm going to pay Derek Carr and my quarterback spot is going to cost $40 million, then I'm just going to keep Ryan Tannehill because Carr isn't a big enough upgrade. Yes, Donald Reed, it's a lateral move. It's a lateral move. You don't pay more for a lateral move. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Derek Carr makes 0 sense. I mean, it's absurd, honestly, to think that way. Outside of those two, I think the best option for the Titans, lose. Get a top 10 pick. If you want a quarterback that bad, if you're in the top 10, you can realistically pay to trade up. And the Bears could get the number 1 pick this weekend. The Seahawks will have a top pick that they're getting from the Broncos. There are ways to trade up into the top 5 with teams that have their quarterback. Yes, Dan, he gets it. Trading from 10 is way easier than 17 or 20. You are not trading into the top 5 from 17 to 20. You will have to give 2 first-round picks to do that. The Titans don't have the roster to do that. They need their picks. So, if you're 7, 8, 9, 10, you can give up 1 first-round pick and move up and get C.J. Stroud, get Bryce Young, which are the only 2 quarterbacks that I'm willing to do that for at this moment. My evaluations are not complete. I can fall in love with Levis or Richardson, sure. But right now, Stroud and Bryce are the only guys that I would trade up for. But you can. You have the potential to do so if you're in the top 10. And Tristan, we should have traded for Jerry Jeudy. Do you know how dumb? How can you say that right now? What? What would Jerry Jeudy do for this team right now? Why would that help them now with Tannehill on IR and Josh Dobbs in? You could have Jerry Rice. If you want to go get Jerry Jeudy or DJ Moore or whatever, sure. But wait until the offseason. Wait until the offseason. So for me, that's the best option. Lose, get a top 10 pick, and trade up to get CJ Stroud. Because I think Bryce Young is going number 1 to Houston personally. So trade up to number 2 with the Bears. Trade up to number 3 with the Seahawks. And get CJ Stroud then. Dude, I worry about your guys' mental capacities. Josh Dobbs may end up being better than Tannehill. Dude, what? How drunk are Vols fans, man? Tennessee Vols fans are going to make this offseason the worst. I mean, the worst. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? Anyways, moving forward. If you don't want to go after Tom Brady, I'm cool with it. I do not want them to go get Derek Carr, but a lateral move for more money. What? Go trade up for CJ Stroud. If you're not going to do any of that, then maybe you get a guy like Gardner Minshew and you tank the season. But why wouldn't you just do that with Malik? See, it doesn't make any sense. Either the Titans trade up and go get the quarterback of the future because they get a top 10 pick and they can realistically afford to do it, or they bring in Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, to work directly with Mike Vrabel. Tom Brady can be the OC. Who cares at that point? Or just ride with Malik or stay with Tannehill. I mean, change for the sake of change is dumb. So to me, I don't like none of those options I think are going to happen. Yeah. Well, sorry, BT. I know that there are Tennessee Vols fans out there that understand that Josh Dobbs is barely hanging on to an NFL life, and he's been in the league for 7 years, and he's nowhere near good enough to be an NFL starter. But by God, there are a lot of people out there who don't get it. And it just, he's a Vol, he's an orange, blah, 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 blah. It's absolutely absurd, some of the things that Tennessee Vols fans are saying to me. It's insane. But anyways, I feel bad for anyone who's not a Tennessee Vols fan having to deal with Vols fans this offseason. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, Tom Brady makes some sense, but I don't think it's realistic. The Titans can't get up to get a quarterback if they win this game. And if you're not going to go either of those routes, then just stay with Tannehill. I mean, or roll with Malik and tank. Like, I just don't see a viable path to the Titans competing for a Super Bowl next year. So if not, like, again, I don't care about the AFC South anymore. The AFC South is garbage. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't think that you'll clown me in the Buckeyes. JT Barrett is not an NFL player. Cardale Jones, not an NFL player. I'm not insane. I don't just support Buckeye players because I like the Buckeyes. Like, that's what makes it so hard for me to understand how people can do that in their brain. Like, how can you watch Josh Dobbs for the last 7 years struggle to even survive in the NFL and then come in my comments and say he'll be better than Tannehill? Like, I don't have that level of psychosis in my brain. I just don't. Like, it's insane. But anyways, we got a lot to figure out. It's going to be a long off season, but it's all about the quarterback position now. And, oh boy, like I said, going to be a toxic off season, but that's going to do it for me. I think my vocal cords are going to shred soon if I don't get out of here. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year long. Monday through Friday, free all the time. Subscribe, baby. I'll be here with you to break it all down. That's going to do it for me today, though, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.